Hey everybody, welcome back live at Truth's House Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, and here we go, quickly approaching Christmas, and it's the holiday season, right? I mean, hope you're all doing well out there. It's some weird weather too. We got like a mid-60s day coming up, and then we've had some snow already. So anyway, it's New England for you. With that, first-time guest on the show today. Very excited. The new executive director, CEO, Firehouse Center for the Arts, Craig Sumberg in the house. How are you, Craig?
Hey, good, Drew. Nice to see you.
Great to meet you.
Thanks for inviting me in.
How you enjoying the place so far? You like it?
It's a great room. Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
How you enjoying the new gig? It's I know it hasn't been too long, but sometimes you get pressed right into these things.
I've been on the board about a month, and I've lived in the area, Newburyport, for about a week.
Yep.
So I'm still figuring out like how to get places and where the one-way streets are and all of that. But
and you're on Plum Island, which is a little tricky.
I am. I saw the sunrise this morning, which was beautiful.
That's worth it, isn't it?
It's a beautiful place. People have been super welcoming. I'm having a great time.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. So you, a little bit of your background. I know
My board chairman said I had to say that. You know how it is.
Excellent. That is perfectly fine with us.
Yes.
Legal background. I think I read you were a recovering lawyer, which I hear that a lot.
Yes, it's been a long time for me, so I'm almost fully recovered. But yes, I have a law degree and try not to use. I know enough to be dangerous.
Gotcha. The experience was one of those things, though. Everybody that was writing about you coming to town was saying he was the perfect mix of experience and vision and all that stuff, which I always think that must be very flattering to hear why people hired you.
It is. It is. I hope they keep saying the same things 5 years from now. But, no, I mean, I do think, what the Firehouse needs is someone like me. Whether I'm the exact right person, I don't know. But I feel good about the fit so far.
Cool. What's the now when you think about the have you always just been a fan of theater and music, and how does that all
Yes, as I'm kind of saying somewhat publicly, I mean, I'm more of a live music guy than a theater guy.
Yep, me too.
Okay. Almost all of my staff are theatrical people in orientation, so it's a good mix, actually.
Yep.
And my predecessor, John Moynihan, was definitely moving in the live music direction over the years. So I think people will see a continuation of that evolution at the theater. Still the dedication to theatrical presentations, but a good bit more live music.
Yeah, good mix.
And comedy.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Because that would be new, I think. There hasn't been too much comedy at the Firehouse.
We've done some. I've seen it on the calendar looking backwards, but I think a little more than you've seen in the past.
Okay, cool. That's very good. I like that. We have a lot. I think the good thing about the Firehouse, it's 192 seats, if I remember correctly.
191 is what I haven't counted them. But
I'm the guy standing, so I count me, I guess. Yeah. No, but yeah. So it's like this. I always think it's a very great size. If you've ever been in the place, if you haven't been in the place, it's intimate. But I mean, it's a good amount of people too. So for a lot of acts that come in here, that's like a good.
I mean, every theater finds its niche.
Yep.
Every theater wants 50 to 100 more seats than it has.
Sure.
So I ran a 1,200 seat, just under 1,200 seat theater in Tucson, Arizona for 10 years.
Yeah.
And we wanted 100 more seats all the time. But you make it work what it is, and you find your niche, and you book the kind of shows that fit that size, and hopefully it all works and people support it because they like what you're doing. Membership feeds programming, feeds membership.
Sure. Are you kind of flexible is the wrong word, but there's like I've noticed a lot of shows at the Firehouse there's a bunch of different ways to do a show, right? I remember they booked Martin Sexton once, who I'm a big fan of. He's been on this show.
Yes.
And he played the Firehouse, and that's a little bit of a smaller venue for him, but they somehow made it work by Martin Sexton ended up doing a double that night. He did 2 shows, and that's however, I don't know how the money worked, but that's how it worked.
And then I've done, I frequent the Wilbur downtown.
Yep.
And they do a lot of times. Sometimes they'll put a show on at 7, and then if they sell that out, they'll add a show at 9 or 9:30.
Yeah.
We
so you open to those ideas, kind of?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I think 9 or 9:30 is late for Newburyport. But, you never know.
Although it's funny, so many local musicians come through here.
Yeah.
And they've always, you go to like Portsmouth, New Hampshire or something, and that's just, the next Spar has music everywhere you go,
Yes.
which is not quite Newburyport. And
Yep.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire is also open later. There's also been a push. I know the mayor's been under some pressure, and I've grilled him on it before to maybe places need to stay open later. Maybe there needs to be more live music, and he's actually on board with it. But it's a
Yes.
whole nother. I think it's probably a little further down on his priority list. But but yeah, it is interesting to think about. You say it's probably late for Newburyport, but maybe it doesn't have to be that way. I don't know. It's just interesting to think
It's
about.
all going to be work in progress, and
Yeah.
I'm going to try things, throw them darts at the board, and see what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Just try and not make any too huge mistakes on the way there.
Is that really must be a huge part of the job, right? You know what? Let's try it. If it works,
Yes,
If
and
it doesn't,
I think
nobody's.
the key is, and I mean that when I say it, like don't risk big on things you're not sure about. Risk small, and then prove success, and then you can risk bigger. So
Yeah.
I believe in that model.
Everybody loves having those bigger acts, the Martin Sextons of the world, or whoever else.
Yeah, Judy Collins is the one we talk about a lot.
That is a very big one.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I know that one's not an easy get, but yeah, Judy Collins was around. But also this place has always been very big on feeding in a lot of local personalities too. Is that something
Yeah.
I imagine you want to keep as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to have a local flavor and be accessible to the community. That's whether that's rentals or co-pros or stuff we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's, it's funny. I just moved. I call this my second home. I'm actually originally from Danvers, and that's
Okay.
where I live now. But I've been here in this community now for a while, so I call it my second home. And Plum Island, where you live, used to be even more places to play, but it's a great music scene there as well.
Yeah.
I found so many artists that
Are
have
you a
just.
musician?
I can play a little. My dad's a real musician.
Okay.
I'm the campfire guy.
Okay.
I can hang, but
Yes.
and the people that come in here are the real musicians. So I don't put myself in that class. But these people that come out and play all the time, there's just so much talent in this area. And we've even had some guests on here that people have liked so much that I think they literally call the firehouse and say you guys should get them.
Yeah.
And we've had some nice shows put together that way. And it's amazing how much great music there is out there if you just go look for it.
And I do think the size is great for that kind of thing, for like local people who are real talented.
Yeah.
But maybe not, regional, national name.
Yeah.
191 seats is just about right.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty big mailing list at this point, email list. I think it's like 18,000 names.
Is that right?
So we
I don't
can-
think I ever knew that.
Yeah. And so we can promote stuff and get it out there, and obviously Facebook and Instagram and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the as far as the theater? You mentioned you're surrounded by all these theater people, which has always been a thing at the firehouse.
Yes.
Is there the staples that you guys want to make sure you keep, or are you kind of not feeling tied into anything?
Well, main stage, theatrical presentations will continue. How often? How many times a year? Not sure yet.
Okay.
Definitely very committed to youth programming at the theater, and that's primarily theatrical.
Okay.
We just had a production of Beetlejuice, our junior theater, which went great.
Sure.
And I think the next one coming up, Megan's going to be mad at me because I can't remember. She'll have to call in with that.
All right. You get some stuff in the works, though.
Yes,
Basically,
yes.
you asked me if I'm a musician. Do you play?
I don't.
You don't.
I
Okay.
don't. No, my brother growing up was a singer-songwriter, Bob Dylan wannabe.
Yep.
So I followed in his footsteps. Most
yeah.
of my musical taste comes from him.
All right. Well, that's a good place to start. Is the Bob Dylan stuff, right? I saw the
Yes.
trailer for that movie. That actually
Yes.
looks really good, by the way.
It does. I'm nervous.
I am too. I'm nervous about all of them. Springsteen's my other guy, and, and he's got one coming out too. It seems like everybody has what do they call that? A biopic? It's
Biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those coming out right now.
Yes.
But
It's not my favorite genre, the biopic.
yeah, it's true.
I found them rarely like that, interesting or compelling.
It's a good point. I'm trying to think of which ones I've ever really liked. Like the Beatles one got a lot of that was a biopic.
I didn't
right
see
there.
it,
I didn't
yes.
see it either. It's it's like 5 hours.
Wasn't that more like a documentary?
Yeah, I guess the Apple
Right.
thing is more like a documentary. right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's not.
Biopics like Elton John had one. I
Yeah,
thought it was
Rocket Man.
okay. Yeah.
I actually think, you know what? I didn't make it through that. Not anything against the I just, whatever. I had stuff going on. I saw a little bit of it, but it seemed okay. I agree. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll review those later. We'll have you back on and review the
All right,
biopics.
sounds good.
Again, Craig Sumberg joining us, Executive Director, CEO of the Firehouse Center for the Arts here in Newburyport, the lovely theater here. We can expect a lot going on. What is going on? I know you're kind of just jumping into this, and I'm guessing the stuff that's going on right now has been booked before you, right? This is
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You
I just
walk
booked
in.
my first show. I'll mention in a minute. But I
Oh.
will tell you that coming up in December, as you might imagine, a lot of Christmas shows.
Yes.
We have Theater in the Open doing Panto, their Panto Christmas.
Cool.
Which is like bawdy, funny revelry kind of stuff. I guess
Gotcha.
I've never seen it. You might have seen it.
No.
No. We got a Frank Sinatra Christmas, a tribute show coming up.
Yep.
Looks like fun. I think one or two other Christmassy shows. So they should check firehouse.org for the calendar.
There you go.
The show we just booked that was on the schedule but is a personal favorite is a guy named Steve Forbert.
Okay.
You know him?
I don't.
He's an old timer, one of the New Dylans in the 80s.
Okay.
Had a couple of semi-hits in the 80s, but he's just a great singer-songwriter.
Oh, all right.
And highly recommend that show, January 25th.
Okay.
Going on sale this week.
All right. Very cool.
And I will mention at the same time,
Sure.
we just kind of tweaked our membership program. So members now get advanced opportunities to buy tickets to shows. So that'll go on usually Wednesday at noon and then to the public on Friday at noon. So that's kind of new at the Firehouse.
Okay. Very cool. That's a lot of good information there. The nonprofit thing, is that new to you? A lot of these theaters.
no.
I did not new to you. Okay.
No, we've been a nonprofit since we opened.
Yeah.
And we do raise money and we do appreciate
I know
contributions.
Newburyport has been, but as far as like when you're doing the thing in Arizona, is that that's probably
nonprofit. No, I've done all my theaters have been nonprofit.
It is okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Oh,
Yep.
That's good. All right, interesting. What's the? Were you living out there for how long in Arizona?
About 15 years, 10 running that theater.
And originally you were from here?
Newton, Massachusetts.
Newton, Mass. So you moved out west, did a little desert living for a while.
I've done some traveling over the years. Went out there with my wife and son, and it was a great run.
Yeah, 15 years. I did like 4 days at a bachelor party there a couple of months ago.
That's a long bachelor party.
Scottsdale area. Yes, it was too long. I came home with a broken phone and an ear infection. It's a true story.
That's funny.
Neither of which were my faults.
Over a beer sometime you'll tell me what actually happened.
Yes, I will. A buddy of mine is to blame for the phone. Michael, you know what you did. They're not good in the hot tubs. Let's put
Okay,
it that way.
okay. Learned that lesson
Yes.
the hard way.
But yeah, that was my first time actually out there in the desert. It's
It's beautiful.
It's funny. It was like I think like pushing 100 degrees.
Yep.
And we were like, wow, yeah, the heat really does get you. You know, you got to stay hydrated and all that stuff. And the locals there are telling us, you guys are complaining. It was 120 here the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, we got like a cool week, I guess,
Right.
like 96 degrees.
Yes, there was a nice breeze.
It was.
A friend of mine used to say he loved Tucson in the summer.
Yeah.
Between 5 and 6 a.m.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is true. Like the mornings and even the evenings got like a little bit chilly. When the sun goes down, but when that sun's hitting you in the middle of the day,
Right.
Man, I could live with that. I'm not a huge. I'm a New England boy, so like in the back of my head, I love all the seasons, but I really don't like a good snowstorm.
It's
I'm
pretty
done.
nice. I mean, the summer gets old, you know.
Yeah.
Around early September, you're ready to move to the next season.
All right. Well, very good. Well, here you are in the wintertime in Newburyport. You're going to get get some. And actually, Plum Island, what a beautiful place to take in winter. Actually, we were already talking about the sunrise there a little bit. And
I finally made it out today. I tried to get out last week. It's just too cold.
Yeah.
But today wasn't as cold. And you can't just. What's better than waking up, taking a walk, and seeing the sunrise?
No doubt. And you will get to. Have you heard of Plum Fest on Plum Island?
No.
Okay, so you'll like this as a music guy. So the every summer, it's usually late summer. I don't know if it's September or late August. Maybe it's both. But there's one day at the end of the year, and your island is taken over.
Wow.
Not literally. You don't have to be involved in Plum Fest, but the people who aren't involved tend to just leave for the day. But all day
Is it
music.
like a porch fest kind of a thing?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's built off the Porch Fest theme. Then
Okay.
you play beaches, porches, decks, yards.
Great.
And it's I think they had like 200, 300 bands this year.
No kidding.
Yeah, or at least acts, some solo acts too. But yeah,
Sounds
it's
great.
all over. They shut it down. They got shuttle services, and
I'll be there.
so you'll see it next year.
Yes.
So yeah, good. And I'm sure there's some overlap too. You'll probably see some of these people at the firehouse. But
Yes.
what is the biggest? I know you probably. What's the first job when you come in? You kind of examine what John Moynihan did and try to keep the
I'm
good.
meeting John later this week. So
Oh, nice.
He can give me a brain download or whatever.
He's a good fellow.
Yes, I mean everybody says great things about John.
Tell him I said hello.
I will. Big shoes to fill. The biggest thing right now is development. It's really just getting the end of year fundraising in.
Yeah.
He left some months ago, and there's some stuff that's just making sure I'm getting all the low hanging fruit on the development side of things,
Yeah.
and planning for the spring and the next year.
Yeah, okay. Are you gonna delegate somebody to do the marquee? You guys have one of the most beautiful marquee boards there.
We do.
Catches my eye every time. I got to read
Okay.
the whole thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Although they did tell me I'm the tallest staff person, so I don't know. I might have to do the ones up at the top.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find somebody to do that, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Tell John we're much happier with you now, if you don't mind. If you
I
could pass
will.
that
I
along,
will.
just from the show's
tell him you said
perspective. He'll appreciate that. Again, Craig Sumberg joining us, Executive Director, CEO, Firehouse Center for the Arts, talking about a little bit about what the first month has been and what the months ahead are going to look like. Is there like, we mentioned some of those big acts out there. Is there like one in your head that's like, you know who I just love to get for this place? Is there one name that like kind of...
I mean, I have a lot of people. I gave Justin, who works with me and has been on your show,
Sure.
A long list of people we should look at. But I couldn't name one.
No, okay. It's probably a safe play from
I can name
your
plenty
job.
we're not going to get. You know.
That's a very politically correct play, probably. But yeah, you guys always, it'll be a great...
I will say this: I'm hoping to announce a music season aside from theatrical, which get announced separately, around April or May, and I'd love to come on at that time and talk about some of those shows coming up in the fall.
Oh, I would love it.
Hope to have a really robust season.
Spring's a good time to announce those.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
very, very cool. What's the? Did you have a good Thanksgiving, by the way? Did you obviously when you're moving and everything, it gets kind of
I did. I was
complicated.
with my son, who's in school in Columbia, in New York, with my ex-wife and her family, and it was great.
Nice, very
Yeah,
good.
thank
And
you.
holidays on Plum Island, or
Not sure yet.
not sure yet?
Not sure yet.
Very good. All right, very good. This is our team here. So if you ever need anything from our end, Maeve does all the hard work, as you met
Okay,
Maeve.
I can see.
You can see. Yeah, I just talk to interesting people all the time, and she does all the hard work. As you'll see her running around here. And Sarah Hayden is the boss. Have you met Sarah?
No.
Okay, you should meet Sarah too. She stepped out here a little earlier, but she knows everybody in town.
Okay. Look forward to it.
There you go. When you're searching for, I don't know if you were searching for a job or if they came at you. Either way, when this job is brought to your attention as a
Yeah.
possibility, what's the first thing that is striking to you?
Great venue, great town.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us who run venues want to be in a great community and with a venue where people care about the music
Yep.
or the theater or whatever they're producing.
Yeah.
And, getting inside it and seeing it and kind of imagining what shows are like there. And then seeing my first show in the venue, it's just a very intimate
Yeah.
experience.
Had you been in before you started looking at that
No.
job? Oh, okay.
No, and I'm a venue. It's a little, it was about an hour for me. I was living in Brookline.
Okay.
So it was it was on my list. I was certainly keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
But I hadn't actually been in.
Do you keep an eye on, like I know one of our friends, Karen Ness and Benny, runs the North Shore Music Theater.
I met Karen the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, she's fantastic. And she runs the North Shore, and they do, the the Christmas holiday. What is their thing? Karen's gonna kill me.
Right.
Mind blanking. The holiday
big thing.
show, yeah.
Yes.
And do you keep an eye on what they're doing too? Do other theaters watch other theaters? I guess is the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all like to see what other people are doing. In particular for us, I mean, I watch what people like Karen, North Shore Music Center, right?
Yeah, North Shore
But
Music
they're
Theater.
much
Yep.
bigger than we are, so we're not competing.
Yep.
I'm really looking at things like the City Winery in Boston, Natick Center for the Arts, the Spire Center in Plymouth.
Yep.
To see who they're booking, and in most cases we're not competitive. We're different markets.
Yep.
So we're just seeing what
Portsmouth too, right? Don't you know the music hall
Yes,
up there? Yeah.
I think they're a bit bigger than us, though, right?
Well, yeah, I think they built off that second thing now though too. They got that
Okay.
music hall lounge, which I know is kind of
Yeah,
smaller
I mean,
acts, but
the
still.
Cut in Gloucester does
Yeah.
some stuff that would be overlapping.
That's I was there for the grand opening night.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful. I actually haven't seen a show there yet.
Yeah, I
but,
saw a couple of shows there. It's great.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. There's a lot of great venues around, and I'm just shy. It's basically learning from your peers.
Yeah.
I mean, see what they're booking. And I love to go to venues just to see what it's like to be there and how they welcome you, or not.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are intangible that people might not even notice, that if you're in the venue business, you kind of you're attuned to that stuff.
I had a great musician on here one day, and here's a little like kind of an inside baseball way of attacking this question for you. But musician who's been touring the country with some really big bands right now, playing amphitheaters and stuff. But when he comes back home to little old Boston, he still goes out and plays solo by himself to the bar crowd or whatever. Like it just, kind of like one of those guys that, whoa, way too talented for that probably, but that's the business. It's like, but he told me when he tried to book a show at a theater around here. Similar size to the Firehouse, and just the ticket. I'm a South Shore guy, North Shore tickets. Like I didn't bring a pack full of friends. It was people that were just trusting, the whatever the description was.
Yes.
So I probably only did like maybe half full, and I remember going up to the guy and apologizing, like I don't want you to lose money on this. Like I wanted to dive in the area. We can try it again at some point, but I don't want you to lose money on it. And he goes, I'll never forget the guy saying to me, he goes, you kidding me? He's like, you're a young guy doing great. He's like, you're an investment. Come back to me in 10 years when you're big, which I thought was a cool, like, local story,
Yes.
But probably also hard, because I'm guessing the place lost money that night.
Yeah.
How do you balance those kind of tough business decisions out there in the music world?
The thing is, you're building, a program, and it's a year of programming and membership, so it doesn't matter if any particular show loses money, really. You don't want to lose a lot of money on a show, obviously.
Yeah.
But shows that undersell a little, you're just investing in the future.
Yeah.
And the 50 or 100 people that came hopefully had a great time, and hopefully will tell their friends the next time.
Sure.
You do think twice about booking that same act. I mean, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting thought. But if you trust the music too,
Right. And everybody should know venues don't have to be full for the venue to make money. I mean, if they're empty, they're probably not making money.
Yeah.
But if a venue's half full, depending on what they paid the act, they're probably doing okay.
What is your and I get a lot of I get the dirt, the gossip, all that stuff from all these people that come in. I know the rooms where the people are not treated well, and the manager sucks, or don't talk to the bodyguard when you walk in, or the security guard when you walk in. But the one thing, and it doesn't happen very often. Usually, it's nice things to say. But the treating artists like behind the scenes, I know that's always been a huge thing in Newburyport. We want these artists to feel welcome and come back to Newburyport, and I'm sure that's your motto too. You want to make sure everybody feels comfortable.
It is.
How do you go about that with these artists that come in, which I'm sure some of them have kind of unique personalities?
That's really up to my staff. I mean, I don't interact with them for very long in the course of an evening or day that they're there. But I mean, you try and hire. I read this in a book one time. You try and hire hospitalitarians, people who have hospitality in their blood, like in their bones.
Sure.
I didn't hire this staff. Obviously, John did. I think he hired all these people. But they're great, and they do have that, and they want to put in a great show, and they want the artist to get on stage feeling good about the venue, and so we work hard at that.
What's the? Have you already had do you have a new head coach comes to town? That's you. Do you actually sit everybody down and have a meeting? Is that how that works?
Well, we have staff meetings.
We have weekly staff meetings, but is there
we haven't had a retreat or anything like that, but we will. Yes.
All right. Very good.
But I'm gonna hear as much from them as they'll hear from me. That's for sure. None of them are shy. Let me say it that way.
What would you say is your biggest leadership? You say you read that in a book, but I wonder, is there a motto from somebody, maybe a mentor or something that you always took something from?
Well, that book is called Setting the Table by forgetting him, Danny Meyer, restaurateur in New York.
Okay.
Great book about customer service. But I guess another thing I learned from him is write a great last chapter. So what that means is things are going to go badly, and anything you do is you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. But what people will remember will be how you addressed it. Yeah. Right. So if you write a great last chapter, and he's got a great example, I won't go into it right now. Yeah. But this whole evening goes badly, but then they save it at the end, and that's how the story ends. Interesting. So yes, write a great last chapter.
That is so true. Just that reeks of Gary LaPierre was the old WBZ News Radio, and I was a young writer in the WBZ newsroom, and Gary he was retired by the time I came on board, but we used to bring him back for a week. I don't know if it was Sweep back in the day or whatever, but it was a little, just a little, hey, Gary's coming back, everybody tune in. And I had the pleasure of writing for him for 2 separate weeks. And one, it wasn't me, but somebody in the newsroom had made a mistake for Gary, and he read it on the air, and it wasn't, and the guy was sitting right next to me, felt horrible about it, really beating himself up. And a news mistake, which is serious, but, Gary came out, and I'll always remember how he handled this. And I had never seen him deal with it. I've just had a few days with him. And Gary walked out and handled it and just said, hey, you know what? Nobody's bleeding, okay? We went on there, we corrected it,
Right.
we did our thing, probably not our finest moment, but move on. Nobody's bleeding. And I always remember so many news anchors would freak out and throw stuff and do whatever,
Yes.
Some after Gary
Well,
did.
we all take ourselves very seriously, and
Yeah.
people in the news as much as anybody else.
Sure. And I just always, it's like, you think about all the greatness of Gary Lapierre for 40 years in Boston doing the school closings. Everybody remembers all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I remember. It's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of him, because,
Yeah.
he was retired and I was young when he was there. And it's like, that's his lasting memory on me, is how he
great.
handled that situation
It's a
just
great
with
story.
grace,
Yeah. I mean, the other version of that, I think, is that the comment or the line, first world problem.
Sure.
Let's remember these are problems
Yep.
that a lot of other people wish they had.
Absolutely. Yeah, my dad had a band north of Boston for many years, and he didn't really bring it out. They kind of stopped. They really need to have a going away show, because it stopped like kind of with COVID.
Yeah, they do.
They didn't come back. But anyway, since high school, he had this band called Roundabout, and he would come. I remember him sometimes he would say, "People think it's easy, Drew, having a band. Bands can be really hard. A lot of different personalities, a lot of
Yes.
different egos."
Yes.
And I remember he said to me, he goes, "You said something when you were like 12 years old, when I was being dramatic one day, and you said, you could be that guy on top of the building there in the freezing." And I said, "That's probably real work." And he was like, he couldn't believe I said it at 12. And he goes, "It always stuck with me. I don't know." He was like, "You were right."
Right. Out of the mouths of babes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Very. All right. There we go. There's a little reminiscing, looking back in time there. Executive Director, CEO of the Firehouse Center for the Arts, Craig Sumberg, in the house. Final couple of minutes with him. It is your first time on the show, my friend.
Yes.
What you have to do on the first time on the show is rapid fire.
Okay.
Which is just first thing that comes to mind. They're easy. But
I hope so.
but gets
I'll try. I'll do my best.
a little bit of that's how we end the show here when you're on for the first
Now
time.
you tell me.
It is a surprise.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. And thank you again for coming on. This has been very sweet
Thank
of you to
you.
make some
Enjoyed
time. I know you're very busy in your first month, so we appreciate it. Now I get to bother you a lot because I have your number.
Right.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
All right. Favorite movie?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh. Favorite class or subject in high school?
English.
English. All right. Very good. Favorite television show?
West Wing.
Nice. Favorite venue?
Back up. Second choice, Seinfeld.
Okay.
Which I just finished binging all whatever 9
You just did a
seasons.
Seinfeld binge
I saw it at the time, but then
in
I
real
just binged
time.
It, yes.
Okay. So you just how long did the binge take you?
A while, a few months.
It's a lot of seasons, yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing how with the world has changed so much, but so much of it just does stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of it doesn't.
Sure.
Yes.
Some of it could be
Having
fixed with a
just
cell phone, right?
Yes.
You're right. Yeah. But a lot of those issues.
No, it's classic. I mean, they're just the four of them together are so great.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Favorite venue in the world?
Oh God, what's it called in Nashville? The Ryman Auditorium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Favorite concert you ever seen?
Bob Dylan and Tom Petty in a outdoor venue outside of Philadelphia.
Not the Traveling Wilburys, just those two. Okay.
No, just those two.
Wow, interesting. Very cool. Favorite musician? Separate question.
Having mentioned those two already,
Yeah.
God, who else is on my list? Van Morrison.
Very nice. And
Not his recent politics.
it's funny. Yeah, I had his old keyboard player in here.
Yeah.
Who now lives in the area, and he did like two or 3 years with him. And he told me some stories. Man, like just a unique guy. Like he would. Somebody like said a joke on stage in the band one day, and Van just looked at him and he goes, "Why is that funny?" I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't. Where's the fun? Where's the humor? And
Right.
the guy's like, just a very interesting fellow, I think.
Yes.
Unbelievable music, though. First show you ever seen?
Harry Chapin.
Ah,
Yes.
that's a good one.
My brother's folk influence.
Okay, there you go. And we'll end with this one. We got a lot of high schoolers come in here too. We got a lot of musicians. I guess it goes for all of these people. What is the best career advice you ever received?
Follow your passion. The rest will work out.
All right, and here you go. You end up in Newburyport.
Yes.
you
Follow
go.
your passion, you'll end up in.
There you go. It's a new T-shirt for the place, right?
Yes.
Firehouse Center for the Arts, new executive director, CEO Craig Sumberg. It's great to meet you, man.
Drew, thanks a lot.
We'll have you
I
on a lot
enjoyed it.
more if you don't mind.
Appreciate it.
You'll get sick of me by the time we're all said and done.
I'm sick of you already.
There you go. Perfect. Maeve's like that. He's on my team. Very good. Maeve Power, thank you for producing the show. As always, directing the show, Ryan Rothberg, Sarah Hayden, Lily Dissette, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. We appreciate y'all very much. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you, Craig. We'll see y'all next time, all right? Live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Peace.